already 30 participants. I guess we can start. Thank you everyone for being here. And I would like to start by saying a few thank yous. All right. So thank you very much for our speakers. The ones that have volunteered from their time and effort to make this bridge happen. Also a big thank you to UFM and Dr. Mohamed Razzaz for supporting this initiative all the way from making it happen that me and Roberta meet in the seminar held by the UFM and expliciting interest in collaborating together to supporting this initiative today. So thank you very much. And we're so very much looking forward to hearing your speech. Also, a thank you for the FEDCOC, the Federation of the Egyptian Chambers of Commerce, for supporting this initiative. And we will be hearing from Dr. Ali Aizo, who's the Secretary General today, also talking about the general Egyptian economic scene. A big thank you for EBA, the Egyptian Business Association, and we are very grateful for all the effort supported by the executive team at the EBA, the Egyptian Business Association, and of course the heads of committees leading the tourism and the energy. And finally, last but not least, of course, the Larnaca Chamber of Commerce. And we're so much looking forward to hearing about the Cypriot economy scene from you. And finally, my partner, RT Circle Consulting, led by Ms. Roberta. So a big thank you for all these really pioneers who have believed in us initiating this initiative. Second, I'd like to address people who are attending, companies actually who are attending this webinar today, what to expect from this 1 hour and a half. Hopefully we stick to the time. It's we are all about creating a bridge, this roadmap of doing business between Europe, represented by Cyprus this year, leading the EU presidency, and Egypt, who is a great opportunity of a gateway to Africa and the Middle East. So I hope also this roadmap gives you a glance of what to expect in both these markets. Therefore, what we expect that to come out of this webinar is just having a light bulb on the opportunities that you can have from bridging between these two markets. Finally, because I'm sticking to my 5 minutes, maybe less even, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nagla Akl. I've been a marketing consultant since 1999. It's been my pleasure and honor to have helped 5,000 Egyptian brands become locally acknowledged and internationally afterwards. This is why I was awarded by the Fortune magazine in 2018 as one of the most influential women in business in Egypt. In 2019, I started the transformation to new benefit marketing agency, helping companies grow internationally. And I believe that in these difficult times, as we say in Arabic, في كل محنة منحة. In every dilemma, a chance can be discussed, and it would be my pleasure, my personal pleasure, to give the Egyptian companies and the Cypriot companies, or the European companies in general, a chance to grow outside their traditional market through a consortium of consultants that we have the pleasure and honor to have among our group. Thank you and enjoy the journey. I hope you have a fruitful trip. Please stay engaged. If you have any questions, we're going to give you the chance after Mr. Lazaros' presentation, presenting Cyprus, of course, to ask whatever you need to ask about their market. And then we are going to give you another chance to send us our questions after the Egyptian presentations. And finally, we're going to have a general Q&A before we close down. Thank you. And I give the floor to Ms. Roberta to speak on the Cypriot side.
Thank you, Nagla. Good afternoon from Larnaca. And thank you, Nagla, for the excellent introduction and for framing so clearly the strategic partnership between RT Circle and the New Benefit Agency behind today's dialogue. I would also like to join you in warmly thanking all our distinguished speakers for being with us today. Thank you all. And for all the companies and people who have registered to participate, so many, so very happy. And briefly on RT Circle, before leaving the floor to the speakers for going for this deep dive into the Cypriot, Egypt, EU, Egypt opportunities. RT Circle is has a clear priority. I'm as a CEO, I can say that our priority is fostering innovative economic cooperation and business alliances between the European Union and third countries such as Egypt, with Cyprus as an island with significant potential and a competitive gateway to the European market. It is therefore a real pleasure to open this dialogue by giving the floor to Dr. Mohamed Razzaz, Head of Sector for Economic Development and Employment at the Union for the Mediterranean. We are grateful for the mission carried out by the UF as a platform for cooperation in the Med region. And as you mentioned, Nagla, it is precisely within this framework that our relationship and the strategic partnership first originated. So, Dr. Razzaz, dear Mohamed, thank you for being with us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Roberta. Thank you, dear Nagla. I hope you can all hear me well. A very good afternoon to you all from Barcelona. From the Secretariat of the Union for the Mediterranean, and I would like to warmly thank you for this invitation. I'm very happy, and I say this in the name of the entire Secretariat, to see that the activities that we've been investing in, that we have been co-designing, co-implementing, co-delivering, are yielding a success story, are yielding impact. It's heartwarming, and this is exactly the kind of dynamics that we have been trying to build through our role as a unique platform of dialogue in the Euro-Mediterranean region, aiming at building consensus on sectoral agendas and facilitating such complementarities. So thank you at personal level, Nagla and Roberta. But of course, I'm not here to speak about individuals because this is about Egypt and Cyprus, both of which are very actively engaged members in the UFM Secretariat since the very foundation of the Secretariat. Some of you might not be very familiar about what we do at the Union for the Mediterranean. I will explain now, but just for you to know, the current Secretary General for 7 years now of the Secretariat is an Egyptian career diplomat, Ambassador Nasser Kem, and the head of administration, our backbone, has always been from Cyprus. So actively engaged in the workforce, but also diplomatically, hosting activities operationally, helping us build this consensus on areas of priority for the member states. One of which, of course, is trade facilitation and investment promotion. We all understand the context of conflict, of disruption globally and regionally, knowing and bearing in mind that unfortunately ours, the Euro-Mediterranean region, remains to be the most economically fragmented region in the whole world. When the Barcelona process was launched back in 1995, the key of the process was to promote regional cooperation and integration, hoping that this would help us create an area of common stability, security, prosperity for the aspiring people of our region, a very legitimate ambition. Now, it so happens that if we look at the trade flows, for example, they remain to be extremely skewed. Some 90% of all the trade flows in the UFM region remain to be concentrated within the European Union, with another 7% between the EU and its southern and eastern neighbors, and only 3% of South-South, East-East, and Southeast trade. You can see this as a problem, as a challenge, but you can also see it as a massive potential. To start with, there are so many bilateral trade agreements that are not properly implemented, that they are not untapped fully. The potential is already there. The work has been done. We need to take it to the next step. But obviously, to do any such endeavor, to really take it to the next step, in a context of rerouting the maritime trade passageways, middle powers coming again into the forefront, one digital disruption after another, you need a mapping exercise. And we did this mapping exercise, and I invite you all to check our UFM progress report on regional integration. It assesses 5 domains of economic integration, and I don't want to say the most important chapter, but one of the main domains, of course, is trade integration and financial market integration. There are some very interesting findings that would help us all identify not only the gaps and the deficiencies, but also actionable policy recommendations. And this is where the report really steps in, because it was drafted by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, our partners. It was launched last year in September, and it's readily available on our website, and we will be disseminating the findings from that report to other interested countries, sub-regions within the UFM and beyond the UFM, because no one region is an island, of course. There are so many success stories and best practices that can be scaled and replicated. And I will not delve into more details because I'm having a look at the list of participants that are joining us now, and I see a very impressive lineup of participants. Allow me to send our greetings and warm regards to Dr. Ala Aiz, to Dr. Dalia Zaid, and to many others that I personally had the pleasure of meeting or knowing. And when I see these names and other names, it's also heartwarming, it's reassuring, because I know that the right lineup is on board. It's a message of security, of knowing that we're going somewhere. But back to the Union for the Mediterranean. For those of you not very familiar with us, we're an intergovernmental organization of 43 member states, all 27 EU member states, in addition to Mediterranean basin countries. North Africa, I don't like the term Middle East, so I would say Eastern Mediterranean countries, and then also some countries from the Balkans region. And again, the overarching goal is to promote regional cooperation and integration, knowing that integration in itself, economic integration, through trade integration, through infrastructure connectivity, through free movement of people and of goods and of services and of ideas, of recognition of higher education and research and academic titles. Economic integration is not the end game. It's not in itself an end. It's a means to a much greater end. It has its own multiplier effect, but it's a prerequisite for any proper, inclusive, sustainable, and smart development for the region. We could never possibly compete against other economic blocs around the world without having done our homework. We could never possibly move higher up the scale of resilience and competitiveness without first having what it takes. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, everyone was postulating and speculating about the reconfiguration of global value chains. We were hoping to see regional value chains becoming shorter through nearshoring. It's not happening 100%, and in part because some of us are not yet prepared. Preparedness is another very important thing. And again, I must say that the region, and I'm quoting here the progress report I told you about, still is punching way below its weight in terms of FDI attractiveness, in terms of trade flows, in terms of policy convergence. There's a lot of work to be done. I'm not here, of course, to tell you what to do. You know this better than I. But what I want to say is that you can use the UFM, you can use the readily available platforms that have developed the network, that can have the convening power, that can mobilize the ecosystem to leverage on what has been done and take it to the next level. This is why I'm very glad that I'm here. Thank you again. I will not monopolize your attention more, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, Mohamed. Very informative intervention from your side. And building on this perspective, it is now a pleasure to give the floor to Mr. Georgios Phokas, Commercial and Energy Counselor at the Embassy of the Republic of Cyprus in Cairo, who will outline the embassy's priorities in supporting trade and economic cooperation between the two countries. So, Mr. Phokas, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Roberta. Thank you, everybody, and thank you. I convey the gratitude of both the ambassador and myself for forwarding this invitation to us. I'm not going to follow the lead of Dr. Mohamed. I'm going to be very, very brief. The embassy here, since well, as you already said, I'm the Commercial Energy Counselor. I've been in Egypt 2.5 years now. I've seen Egypt, and I'm seeing Egypt through the lens of the local economy, and I'm seeing Egypt through the lens of companies from Cyprus trying to enter this vast market, because it's a vast market with great potential and great bottlenecks. I'm starting with this. I should say that besides Egypt, I also cover the market of Jordan. So I'm responsible for these two countries. The overall main objective of the Cyprus Trade Center that I'm the head of is to facilitate and assist mainly Cypriot companies in entering these foreign markets as we are under the embassy. So Cypriot embassy, Cypriot companies. That, though, is not limiting, because it's a lot of times that to push to improve the economic relation between the two countries, you need to be flexible. You need to assist Egyptian businessmen, and we do that as well. So the overall objective is to increase the economic benefits for both countries. This is what the embassy is doing in regards to the commercial, the economic, and also the energy, because energy is also my portfolio here. But yes, on a nutshell, this is what we do. We have the main priorities, as mentioned, is to enhance the economic and trade relations. We've due the course of these 2.5 years, we've organized a lot of delegations back and forth to Cyprus and here. High-level delegation with the presence of the Minister of Trade. We had a very, very fruitful cooperation with the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce and Larnaca Chambers of Commerce as well. From the Egyptian side, I say hello to Dr. Razzaz. Very good and helpful network that you need to have here. EBA, also a very valuable partner in Egypt. So besides this introduction, the Trade Center is responsible for, as I said, for the Cypriot companies to provide the input, the reliable input in regards to the Egyptian market. And we have several mechanisms under the Cyprus Trade Center, and in cooperation with the Ministry of Trade in Cyprus. The most prominent one is the Export Help Desk. This is a mechanism under which I'm going to talk about Cypriot companies now, under which Cypriot companies can apply and go through a process that ends up in the trade center, and the trade center is responsible for doing a B2B matching for the Cypriot company, searching and finding partners in the Egyptian market. So I'm just informing whoever is a Cypriot company out there would like to keep that in mind. What else? We're in the process of establishing an MOU with Egyptian Business Chamber. So we are working on that. So the bilateral relations on trade is main objective, both from the center and from the embassy. I don't know. I might as well say a few words on statistics and how the trade has been, the percentages. For 2024, we had overall trade between the two countries of 244 million. Well, as you can imagine, the majority is Egypt to Cyprus because of the size. But the positive is that the last year we had an increment of 26% from Cyprus to Egypt, and the year before the last we had an increment of 135% from Cyprus to Egypt. So we are pushing to match, hopefully, inshallah, as you say in Egypt, to match the percentages of Egypt. Unlikely, but we're trying. But in a nutshell, these are what I wanted to say. We also assist Cypriot companies in potential bottlenecks that they might face in the markets. We had cases for with the customs. We help them resolve these issues. We intervene as embassy, and the feedback and the cooperation from the Egyptian authorities are always very, very high. They assist us in every possible way. So this is from my part. Basically, this is what we do here at the trade center. And again, I understand there's a lot of companies in the video conference. I'm open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Phokas, for sharing the question and answer slot. There will be a way also to share further details. And I now give the floor to Dr. Lazaros Hadjiforados, Vice President of the Larnaca Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who will provide insights from the Cypriot business community and an overview of the Cypriot economic context. So, Mr. Lazaros, thank you for being with us today. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Hello, Roberta. Thank you very much for the invitation to this webinar. I hope everyone is doing well. On behalf of the President of the Larnaca Chamber of Commerce, I would like to warmly welcome everyone to this webinar and to express our sincere appreciation to all of the organizers for their excellent preparation and this important initiative. Such events foster cooperation and dialogue and progress within our business community. We thank you once again for the invitation, and I wish everyone a highly productive and successful event, as we also strongly believe that there is a significant potential for cooperation with Egypt, a market that the Larnaca Chamber of Commerce considers both substantial and strategically important. Moving on, I will be sharing my screen for a short presentation. Wait now. Just a small introduction. My name is Lazaros Hadjiforados, and I'm the Vice President of the Larnaca Chamber of Commerce. Over the next 10 minutes, I will try and provide a brief overview of the Cypriot economy, the investment climate, and the key sectors where we see strong opportunities, particularly in the context of the Cyprus-Egypt cooperation and the global trade. Why Cyprus? Cyprus is, of course, a small economy, a small country. However, the importance of our country lies not in our size, but in our strategic position. Cyprus is a member of the European Union and part of the Euro area, which offers full access to the European Union market. At the same time, our geographic location in the Eastern Mediterranean and our long-standing relationships with the Middle East make it a natural bridge between regions. For many businesses, Cyprus is not simply a market, it's a platform that connects Europe with the wider region. Our economy in Cyprus is mostly open, outward-looking, and service-driven. Over the recent years, the Cypriot economy has demonstrated strong resilience, successfully navigated through global challenges, and they also maintained a steady growth. International businesses play a very significant role in the economy of Cyprus, and foreign investment remains a key driver. Importantly, Cyprus offers a stable institutional and regulatory environment in which is essential for long-term businesses, planning, and investment. What makes Cyprus business-friendly? One of our strengths is that it's our business-friendly environment. Our legal system is based on English common law, which is familiar and trusted by international investors. Regulation is transparent and aligned with European standards. And additionally, Cyprus also benefits from a competitive and clearly structured tax framework, which has also been revised as of the 1st of January 2026, as well as an extensive double tax treaty network, which includes a treaty with Egypt. English as a language is widely used in businesses, administration, and professional services, which also further facilitates international operations. Cyprus has developed over the years as a well-established investment hub. The formation of companies and the licensing procedures are pretty much efficient, and our country is frequently chosen as a base for holding companies, regional headquarters, and cross-border investment structures. This is also supported by a strong ecosystem of both of legal, accounting, and advisory professionals, as well as a continuous progress in digitalizing public services. The overall approach in Cyprus is both practical and investor-oriented. Another strength for Cyprus is our human capital. The workforce is highly educated and multilingual, with strong expertise in finance, professional services, and technology. Cyprus has also attracted a growing number of international professionals, for which we also offer attracting tax benefits, enriching our local talent pool. Comparing Cyprus with other major European hubs, operating and employment costs in Cyprus remain very competitive, which offers a good value for businesses which choose to operate here. Another important sector of our economy is the shipping. The shipping is one of Cyprus' flagship sectors. Cyprus is recognized as one of the world's leading ship management centers, which is also supported by a European Union approved tonnage tax system and a comprehensive maritime services ecosystem. The sector includes ship management, legal and technical services, crewing, and finance. Given Egypt's strong maritime and port infrastructure, there are, I believe, clear opportunities for cooperation and synergies in this specific field. Energy is also another strategic sector, particularly in the context of the Eastern Mediterranean. Cyprus plays an important role in regional energy development, including gas, LNG, renewables, and supporting services. Many companies use Cyprus as a base for structuring, managing, and financing regional energy projects. There is also significant potential for further strengthening the Cyprus-Egypt cooperation in this area, building on existing regional partnerships. Cyprus has also a strong presence in financial and professional services, which includes investment funds, holding structures, and family offices. At the same time, there is a fast-growing technology ecosystem with activity in fintech, gaming, software, and innovation-driven sectors. Also, Cyprus offers an attractive framework for intellectual property and innovation, making it a natural EU entry point for regional technology companies. Synergies. When we look at Cyprus and Egypt together, the synergies seem pretty clear. Egypt offers scale, production capacity, and access to a large regional markets. Cyprus offers EU access, governance, and a reliable framework for structuring international operations. Joint ventures and partnerships can effectively combine these strengths, particularly in trade, logistics, energy, and services. The Chambers of Commerce, which I'm also the Vice President, play an important role in facilitating these connections and turning opportunities into concrete collaborations. Cyprus should not be viewed as a competitor to larger markets, but as a complementary base. Cyprus provides an efficient platform for accessing the European Union while maintaining close ties with the Middle East. For companies looking to expand internationally, Cyprus offers predictability, credibility, and long-term strategic value. Closing my short presentation, Cyprus offers a stable, transparent, and strategically positioned environment for trade and investment. There is a strong potential for deeper business cooperation between Egypt and Cyprus, supported by shared interests and complementary strengths. I would like to thank everyone for your time and attention, and I wish everyone a great afternoon. If there are any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lazaros, for this comprehensive overview, and looking forward to collaborating in this journey together. Now I leave the floor to Nagla for starting with the Egyptian speakers. Thank you all.
Thank you, Roberta, and really thank you for all the speeches that has been made so far. It's really insightful. I couldn't ask for the perfect introduction to this bridge we're creating now, so thank you again. And let me start by saying, if anybody has any question regarding the Cypriot market until now, or the speeches that has been made, please let us know in the chat. Just type your question and we will be reading it out loud. Otherwise, I would like to start welcoming Dr. Alaa Izz, the popular Dr. Alaa Izz, who I'm very proud to be saying that he's one of my mentors, aspiring that he would be one of my mentors. He's the Secretary General of the Confederation of the Egyptian European Chambers and the Union of the African Chambers. And I've seen in my 4 years of international business development consultancy that having those bridges supported by the Chambers of Commerce is the most successful and reliable way of doing business internationally. So Dr. Ala Aiz, we're so looking forward to hearing from you. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Nagla. Good morning, Roberta. It's nice seeing all these friends, Ayman Korra, Georgios, Ahmed Razzaz, old partners, not in age, but the long-term partnership that we all had together. I don't know if you see my screen, so I can start?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Doctor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Taking from what has been said by the previous speakers, I look at our cooperation rather as trilateral rather than being bilateral. Bilateral, we can increase it slightly, but trilateral, we can disguise the limit when it comes to that. First, let me give you a hint about Africa. Now, like the European Union, we have a continental African free trade area. So whatever is being produced in Cyprus with Egyptian companies can go custom-free into Africa. Why Africa? 1/8 of the world population, very fast-growing middle class, 1.4 trillion purchasing power, a wealth of natural resources. I won't go through the numbers, you can have the presentation later on, but huge amounts of what we do need, whether as Egypt, Cyprus, or if we're talking about our neighbors in the European Union. And electricity, energy was mentioned by Georgios as one of the key elements, and transport and logistics. And here I'll touch upon this. What needs to be done? World, and here when I say world, it's Cyprus, whether it's, I'm not talking about investments as much as I'm talking about subcontracting, using existing companies, providing technology, CKD components to work with different African countries. Egypt is the example for today, where we can re-export zero customs to all these countries. And it worked for Egypt. Today we have the EU27, the UK, the EFTA, the COMESA, the Mercosur, Turkey, even the United States of America through the QIZ and the Pan-Arab Free Trade Area, 3 billion consumers for whatever we produce together. And this is not only physical production, this also includes services, which is one of the utmost important elements for our cooperation. Now let me touch upon Egypt. The Egyptian business community, same like the Cypriot, is supported by the head of state. President Sisi, wherever he goes, from Asia to the US to Europe, he takes the business community represented by the Federation of Egyptian Chambers to such meetings. And we're supported by heads of state wherever we go alone. And as you see, Cyprus has been a partner throughout. President of Cyprus has been in several meetings with us as federations of chambers, as unions of chambers, as confederation of chambers, as well as other heads of states from different countries. Let's not forget our trilateral cooperation between Cyprus, Greece, and Egypt. We've had over 10 trilateral summits. I had the honor of organizing 2 of them. And along with them, we have the chambers cooperation, where we signed with the Cypriot chambers and the Greek chamber creation of a trilateral chamber to promote our cooperation. And we had the honor of having ministers from the 3 countries promoting both economic cooperation as well as energy cooperation. All this has resulted that Egypt today is going on a spree of reconstruction in our neighboring countries. One of the sectors where your construction companies, your infrastructure companies can cooperate with Egyptian companies doing business. Here you see oil and gas, roads, bridges, major projects like the Tanzania hydropower plant built 100% by Egyptian companies except for the turbines. And this is not only neighboring countries, this is not only Arab and African countries. We go to Mexico, our companies are working worldwide doing major infrastructure projects. Why Egypt? Since I'm the first speaker to speak about Egypt, Ayman, permit me, I'll steal this from you. Probably you were going to talk about it. We had lots of reforms that were drafted within the business federations and associations. This is one of the cooperations EBA and FedCoc has continuously, where the golden license, the government ownership policy, the Supreme Investment Council, different PPPs that were created. All this was requests from the private sector, and the government in a PPP format listened to the private sector. We had the honor of having the president of Cyprus and a huge delegation from the Cypriot chambers during the EU investment conference last year, where we signed agreements of 66 billion. Half of them are in the pipeline of being implemented, and the rest are finishing their paperwork. What Egypt offers? Egypt is the land of opportunities for trade, which is naturally. We have the biggest domestic market in the region, 115 million Egyptians and 10 million guests living in Egypt, as well as easy access to regional markets. Investments, and I don't promote investment, I promote value-added trade that will later on switch to investments, and funded mega projects, whether the Suez Canal corridor with its ports, the 1.5 million acres agriculture development, the new capital, fish farms, green hydrogen, and 22 new industrial cities. And these 22 fourth generation cities that were built in Egypt, built by Egyptian companies in less than 5 years, including the new capital, including the Alamein summer capital, and each one is to host 5 million population. What about the market in Egypt? Egyptians are unlike your neighbors in north of Europe. We don't save. We even spend what's coming. Our 120 million Egyptians spend their income completely on everything. We have about 11 to 14% increase in consumption of everything by Egyptians. So it's a huge market. So what do we offer? We're the crossroad of trade thanks to the Suez Canal. We have free trade agreement to 3 billion consumers, easy access to these regional markets, modern ports, free zones, and transit facilities. So trade as a two-way approach. Egypt offers an excellent opportunity for Cypriot companies. We welcome increasing exports to Egypt. Anything that Cyprus can export with zero customs can arrive to Egypt, and there are lots of lines of credit and grants offered by the European Union that can be utilized. We can increase joint exports with what we manufacture together to third markets, and you can use Egypt as a transit hub to our region. And our region, thanks to the infrastructure spree that Egypt has gone, 700% increase in roads, 150% in railways, 5 new lines, metro lines, 300% increase in airports. And everything is on PPP basis. And even private industrial zones are now the fashion in Egypt, where it's plug and play, and you're not dealing with government, you're dealing with private sector. 8,000 kilometers of new superhighways, but what's most important is connecting to Africa. Whether the Alexandria, Cape Town superhighway, or what's more important is our new N'Djamena, Safaga superhighway that will connect Chad to Egypt, then to the superhighway to Dakar. So we're opening all these landlocked markets that were importing by air freight to now import from Cyprus, for example, by ship to Alexandria, by road down to all these countries where you can increase your exports. Railways, we're the only country in Africa with the bullet train. Airports, all our new airports are built on BOT basis. Maritime transport, I won't touch much upon it. However, this is the master plan of Ain Sokhna. For 2050, we achieved what should have been achieved by 2045, 20 years earlier. The same for East Port Said, where we have done your main counterpart besides Alexandria as a destination, where we achieved 100% of the 2050 master plan. And we're connected to Syria, Jordan, as well as to the Gulf. We signed the tier agreement, which you already have, so we can have Ro-Ro lines connecting Cyprus to Egypt, and then your trucks can go by land up to the Gulf, cutting down costs. We are reviving the Silk Route. We're major part of the Silk Route. I'm honored to be a board member of the Silk Route Chamber. And we have lots of mega projects where we welcome Cypriot companies to come with know-how, technology, or receiving contracts. The doubling of the Suez Canal, the dredging of the Suez Canal, 4 new ports, 2 new airports, 6 tunnels, logistic and industrial zone, 1.5 million acres agricultural development, 77,000 acres of fish farms, 3,500 acres of technology valley, 16,500 acres of industrial zones. And manufacturing, again, like I said, investment is the least concern for us. What we're looking at is joint ventures, co-manufacturing, licensing, subcontracting. This is the way forward to cooperate. In agriculture and fisheries, there is a lot of room for Cypriot companies to come into Egypt, whether receiving contracts in infrastructure, in land reclamation, or agro machinery and equipment. Let's not forget that all the equipment that's used today, mechanized, has been developed. If you come to the Cairo Museum, you'll see all this equipment manually designed by Egyptians, but today, with a bit of motors, they became motorized. We're turning today the sand of Egypt into biological gold mines, exporting to the whole world, with over 4.5 million acres for the next 3 years. And it's not a dream, it's a reality. It's now on the ground. The same applies to fish farms. Few years ago, nobody heard about Egypt and fish farming. In 2 years, we became #1 in Africa, #8 in the world. And here is where cooperation with Cyprus is of utmost importance, especially when it comes to specification standards and phytosanitary requirements, packaging and re-export. Here is room for cooperation with soft technology that you already invested a lot in and you already own. Electricity, we doubled, very simply, we doubled our production in 4 years, 1,200 kilometers of new grids, hundreds of substations, control centers, and the largest solar plant in the world, Bimban, and this was done by the chambers. 2-page legislation that was drafted in the chamber, and we followed it up with the government and with the parliament. And today we have billions of investments in solar energy, and we finished with our Chinese friends. For the first time, we'll have 100% solar powers manufactured in Egypt. The same for wind farms. We have 3 giga, the biggest installed capacity in Africa and Middle East, half of which is from private sector. Oil and gas, the future of our cooperation. Thank goodness we're back again with the new discoveries to export natural gas. Petrochemicals, 43 billion investments and 8.4 billion new investments in the pipeline. We boast the 2 biggest LNG plants on the Mediterranean, the Damietta single train and the Idco double train, where here is our future of cooperation in the East Mediterranean, which is the oil and gas connectivity, where Cyprus is expected to be exporting from its new discoveries to our Zohr infrastructure, to compress in our LNG plants in Idco and Damietta to export to the European Union. So this is one key first cooperation that will be coming up, and then they can utilize our connectivity and our pipelines in the region to export their gas to different countries. And let's not forget, both countries are hubs in the Silk Route. The Silk Route is not maritime only, it is oil and gas, it's internet, and we're connected throughout all of this. And there is huge cooperation that the bilateral trade figures do not show. And nobody asks anybody to come with money. There is 23 billion euros of grants, soft loans, guarantees, and technical assistance offered by the European Union. It's our role to capture as much as possible for our members as chambers. We, with ASCAMI, which is the Union of Mediterranean Chambers that brings us together, We produce our annual initiative of Meta Finance, where we source every cent, not only from the European Union, but from Mexican aid to Australian aid. So it includes JICA, Japan, K-Exim, Korea, everybody who's providing soft loans and grants. Once as a company or NGO you're established in Egypt, you're eligible to everything that's offered to Egyptian companies. And I'll be sending you the list of what we have. This is what we're doing with the Cypriot chambers. We have a huge number of grants under Prima, under Erasmus, under ICPMD, and naturally with our dear friends in the Union for the Mediterranean, providing grants to SMEs, organizing conferences and exhibitions, creating regional clusters, and creating virtual incubators. And this is the pipeline of our 120 million euros of regional projects. Plan B is led by the Cypriot Chamber, and they're partners with all of us in all other projects. And we capitalize on our previous CBC and regional projects. We outreach funding from private sector, from different development, multilateral and bilateral funds and banks. And today we have what we call Hafiz. It's our Ministry of International Cooperation gift to the private sector. It's a platform where you can access such finance. Over $15 billion have been presented to the private sector through this platform. And we're leading FDI in Africa for 5 successive years. We're now number 3 in the world in remittances of our best export product, which is the Egyptians. We're exporting millions of Egyptians worldwide, and they're repatriating their income back to the country. And here you can see international multinationals that you know. They did not come to do business in Egypt. They decided Egypt will be their hub for the region. And moreover, Egypt, unlike lots of countries, and like Cyprus, we have history, culture, tradition, attractive touristic recreational sites, thousands of kilometers of beautiful sandy beaches, spacious residential facilities, international education for our children, hospitable people. But if you don't like Egyptians, no problem. We have over 10 million foreigners. You can mingle with them, and a very spicy political climate. We invite you to guide your companies on the path of these pioneers who are today reaping the fruit of their early arrival. And let me close with a piece of ancient Egyptian wisdom. Come to Egypt in these words: rig your boat, travel near and far, look for a wise partner, knock his door, seek his knowledge, welcome in your home. This is how your people will prosper. This was said by King Amenhotep 4,500 years ago to the head of his commercial fleet, the first to cross the Mediterranean to go to Cyprus. And in the same spirit, we welcome you in our home so our people can prosper. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ali, as a very, very big thank you for all this informative session. I just want to highlight that, first of all, we're live on LinkedIn. For the rest of the audience that cannot enter the Zoom, we are live on LinkedIn, so you can follow us on LinkedIn Live. And we're going to share the recording after the permission, of course, of all our speakers and their presentations. We're going to share the recording of this session with many other in the economic team on both the Cypriot side and the Egyptian side. So, Dr. Ali, thank you as usual. Great speech. And thank you for all the support you have given us all through the way since we have extended the invitation to you. Really a big thank you also for your support.
Thank you.
So from there, I would like to welcome the head of the Energy Committee in the Egyptian Business Association, Engineer Ayman Korra, CEO of Korra Company. And we are so much looking forward to your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear guests. Please, I have a presentation about energy transition and potential, Egypt 2020-2030.
Yes, we should. One of our team is sharing it now. Yes.
Can you
Thank
see
you.
it?
Please
Okay.
go ahead, Engineer Ayman. Yes, we can.
Okay, can you بتقلب ازاي محمد؟ Please scroll. Okay, scroll. Just a quick brief that our GDP gross is growing back 4.1, 5.1, 5.2, 5.6. This is IMF source, which shows again we are one of the highest GDP growth within the area. Okay, scroll please. Construction allows is about 9% of the total GDP. Okay, scroll please. Now we will talk about the energy. Yes, okay. Okay. This is the great change. You can see now those are installed capacity basis. You see renewable is going from 4% to 22 in 2024 to 42% from Egypt electricity mix. Fossil fuel is going down from 88, 90 to almost 60% by 2030 as installed capacity, not as power generation or utilization. Okay, next please. This is to show you the mix of electricity now. This is generation. You can see we going of using natural gas 60%, we go down to 44% and then to 29% in 30-40. And also you see the renewable is going, renewable energy system, it goes from 4% to 11% and then to 31%. That's to show the potential until 39 to 40, okay? This is a breakdown of the component of generation. You can see this is concentrate solar power, and you can see the photovoltaic, wind. What's quite interesting, you find in 2040 that the wind will almost be double, or at least 1.8 of the photovoltaic. You see at the end is a 40 giga compared to 24. Also here we have the hydro, the pump and so on, and you have the CHP, which is stand for combined heat and power industrial, which is zero, but this is long-hanging fruit, and we will talk about it later. This is show you the breakdown until 2040. Okay. Okay, please. Talking about solar and wind energy. Right now is the solar is more than the wind, but as I've seen, the expansion in wind will be higher than solar. But this is until 2030. And those are some contracts you can, as a reference, you can look at. Okay, please. Green hydrogen, okay, please. Egypt is very keen to have at least worldwide market share 5% future-wise. So they have the National Council for Green Hydrogen. We see here from illustration that most important that the green hydrogen, cost of green hydrogen production to drop to be lower than the gray hydrogen generated from natural gas after 2030, but then will drop further to be lower than natural gas by 2045. This is quite interesting. Okay, please. Again, as we're trying to be regional hub for green hydrogen and derivatives, most important the ammonia. And as I said, again, we targeting 5% market share at least in green hydrogen. Okay. Those are some contract and some memorandum of understanding. Okay. Again, what I've said about combined heat and power, this is what we call cogeneration. We have a lot of waste, heat, exhaust in the form of exhaust and so on. And we can use those heat within those exhausts to convert it to power or to steam or different application. So instead to have a system with 30% efficiency or 52% efficiency, you can go up to 85. And we have a lot of examples we'll talk about, and we have the privilege as a Korra company to execute many of those projects. Okay, please. Different application, you can use this heat to generate steam, you can use it to the heat recovery unit, etc. Carry on, please. Those are two good examples. We have one, what we call it a tri-cogeneration. That's from one source of input is natural gas. We are getting electricity as a gas generator, but from the exhaust, we heat water to have steam to supply to the industrial area around 19 factory, around that station, and also cooling. So that is how to show that is now your most important environmental, you reduce CO2 by 30,000 tons of CO2 per annum. And in addition, you reduce about 25% of using natural gas instead of the burner to heat water to get steam. And also you have to reduce a transition loss for electricity, because this station within the industrial zone, so the transmission of power is minimum losses. Generally speaking, large power stations losses above 17 to 19%. That's another word of losing or wasting gas, natural gas, burning natural gas. On the right-hand side, we have one of the innovation, which you convert heat to power directly, but what we call it ORC, organic Rankine cycle. This organic Rankine cycle, with the heat, you transfer directly to the electricity, and there is Gasco power plant, which is boosting natural gas through the network, and they have 4 gas turbine, and exhaust from those gas turbine being converted to have the electricity through organic Rankine cycle, and then those power is having another 2 gas train. So from waste, you have 50% of the capacity directly from the waste. Okay, next, please. Also, from the furnace of the cement industry, you can get the heat to heat the water to steam, and then you have a steam turbine, and then you also produce about 30 to 40% of their power need from the waste, and also you reduce the CO2 by, again, about 40,000 CO2 per annum. So it's environmental improvement and friendly and feasible and from waste. Okay, next. Those again to show you how we get the exhaust from the gas generator to heat the water instead to have a boiler and so on. Okay, carry on. This is our plant. This is even, it's in our name, it's Korra, and it's been inaugurated by the President Sisi. Okay. Okay, it's different control room. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. This is again the first waste heat recovery from cement plants. We execute that project. Okay, please. Same pictures of execution. Again, this is Minister Kamel Wazir integrating that project. Okay. 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 That's all. I think we are on time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Engineer Ayman. That's a great presentation on the general energy sector in Egypt. I know it's a very big challenge to do that in 5 minutes. I know, but it's just an introduction. And by the way, we did not choose the energy sector independently. Actually, the Chamber of Commerce in Larnaca has guided us to highlight those 4 sectors as in their view. It's the 4 most prominent sectors now for them. So thank you very much for leading the way in this, Engineer Ayman, and thank you for accepting this invitation.
No, and we are looking for a long-term profitable business relationship, cooperation, and so on. I mean, we are from the Mediterranean. There is a lot of room of cooperation, and we have the experience win-win partnership.
Exactly. Thank you for bridging the way in this sector, and thank you for all the support that you have accepted this invitation and this initiative since we started it. So thank you very much, Engineer Ayman.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So from then we go to the e-commerce sector. I'm sure everyone wants to learn about this. My colleague Moustapha Bekheet from the Fedcock, the Digital Economy Division. He's founder of the ChopX, and actually he's here on invitation again from the Chamber of Commerce in Larnaca to speak about the e-commerce scene in Egypt. Moustapha, I know this is very tight, but you only have 5 minutes, so try to make it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nagla. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, everyone, for having me today. But actually, it's not an easy mission right now after the presentation from Dr. Ala and this resourceful presentation and information, and from the heavyweight industry about energy from Engineer Ayman. But I'm trying to make it in 5 minutes and informative for our friends to explore the Egyptian market and fintech. Allow me first, while I'm sharing my screen, to introduce myself. I'm Moustapha Bekheet, the founder and CEO of ChopX. I've been in the digital transformation mission in Egyptian and MENA market since 22 years, working in the media tech and in fintech, both sectors having successes that we would love to magnify from this kind of collaborations today, which you can see my screen clearly. And I'm representing today ChopX in the industry of fintech and e-commerce, and speaking about the digital corridor that we can have the benefit of it between Cyprus and Egypt. The idea here, we are speaking about not only geographical benefits, but also heritage and a lot of common things that we can benefit from it. At a glance, what's happening in the Egyptian market right now in the digital transformation is very massive. We have a market valuation of $10.3 billion in 2025, and it's planned to be doubled by 23 in the e-commerce specifically. We have 98 million internet users in Egypt, spending around 14 to 16 hours per day on the internet, one of the highest in globally. And that makes very, very clear that we have a market that's always growing and always going up. Not only this in the numbers of usage, but also we have a lot of transformations happen in the sector by the government and by the players here. We have the financial engine that we can call that there is financial inclusion right now, capped for 76% of the citizens of Egypt have already digital wallets using it, thanks to the InstaPay, which is the national digital rail with a massive penetration rate in the past 2 years, being there everywhere with not only the citizens and people in the streets, but also with the sailors and the small shops. That makes the penetration of digital transactions going up and up, I think, month over month. Also, we have the high surge of buy now, pay later market. We have a lot of players. We can mention a few of them, Value and Mentalem, who are driving a 32% annual growth in this market only. having an overlook on the market, what we have here, what are the sectors that driving the e-commerce in that very fast pace. We have first the fashion and apparel, like everywhere in the world, but also we have here the local manufacturers and local brands that are making a surge, that we already have 2.8 billion in exports only from the fashion and apparel from Egypt to the world, thanks to the agreement that we have and mentioned by Dr. Ala across 3 billion tapped market. Also, we have around 2,500 active digital stores for this sector only. The second sector we have is home and furniture. We have Damietta, one of the very historical hubs for the manufacturing of furniture in general, and we have 11% growth in exports in this sector by itself. Also, we have a lot of Egyptian homegrown startups that enabling AI in creation and delivery and everything in the sector specifically. Finally, we are speaking about the niche luxury, handicrafts. That's the heritage of Egyptian market. Now we have the hype across the world, used specifically for these products. We have brands that homegrown from Egypt that have right now a very renowned market share in this market. Also, not only from the Egyptian market, homegrown industries, but we have the internationals coming to Egypt and from the region as well, and has very, very notable success stories. We have Amazon Egypt. Amazon came as Souq.com in 2021, now operating 22 delivery stations in Egypt and one of the largest, if it's not the largest, fulfillment center in Africa by Amazon Egypt. Also, we have Noon, the regional powerhouse in e-commerce that now primarily works in Egypt, and also Jumia from the African market with 27,000 square meter automated warehouse in Egypt. Both Noon and Jumia and Amazon, I think the three of them are working with around 50,000 Egyptian vendors in this sector itself. Going to the what we thought would be the one that we can spot on between Egypt and Cyprus when it comes to synergies and the e-commerce. Egypt has its own characteristics, but still needs some kind of EU standard 3PL and 4PL operational expertise, which is the fulfillment and the fulfillment management players with the EU standards in that. We need automated warehouses because it's not containing all the demands in the Egyptian market and the regional one. Also, still needs some high standard maritime integrated logistics to have our products from Egypt to the European market, which is definitely could be handled in the Cyprus market. On the other side, what we can provide to Cyprus, what we think that it could be in the need for the tech and design hub, because we have a massive workforce in Egypt. Labor cost is very low compared to the European market, and we can provide remote talents at a very competitive rates. Not only talents as freelancers, but we call it talents between the companies from Egypt providing the services from the separate companies. Also, we have the duty-free gateway, which is Dr. Ala mentioned in a great way, which is we have the access to PAFTA, we have to Comesa and other regions that we already can provide this access to Cyprus at a glance. Now, as we are speaking from this part, what can we offer from here? Shopix itself, what is Shopix and what it's providing? Shopix is a subscription-based e-commerce end-to-end platform that enables e-commerce or retailers to have their own e-commerce online at a glimpse of a few minutes, already integrated with a lot of integrated players like payment gateways, buy now, pay laters, and also the fulfillment and the delivery partners. Also provides POS for non-financially included, and a lot of things to be integrated. This is not only a technology partner, but also enables the infrastructure for the whole economy by supporting the small and medium shops to have their own successful market. What we think it could be done as an infrastructure for both ways could be for the automating the corridor between the Cyprus and Egypt markets, to have social commerce integration, to have unified merchant dashboard that can help them sell here and in Europe, and also compliance with the EU documentation. On the other side, it provides the labor that we need from the massive market we have. So we have the designers, the developers, and also the operational parts. And also we can be the remote tech engine for the Cypriot SMBs. Finally, we can propose something to start from if it's something that we can discuss in a later discussions, maybe other sessions, that we can have like a pilot program between identifying 50 premium companies from both sides, those who has already good local markets and who want to expand from Egypt to the EU market or from Cyprus to the Middle East and African markets, and that we can utilize this corridor and the green corridor that we have for the fulfillment, for the tech that we can provide, and also for the digital transformation. From this and that, we can have something that we can build and magnify and can call it as a pilot phase that can be handled and repeated in other sectors if you can start it with the fashion and furniture. At the end, thank you so much. I tried to compress my speech in 5 minutes and wish that I can have something that to add to your knowledge for the sector.
Thank you, Moustapha. A great presentation. We have a very positive feedback on what you just shared. I believe this sector, anyway, is a rising star. So, and it's the cheapest sector to start with. Service exporting or importing service business is the cheapest by far and the easiest and quickest, as I may say. So, thank you, Moustapha.
Thank
you.
You.
Again, I'm highlighting that after we finish this webinar, and we're very close to finishing it, if any of the audience has an interest to sharing the presentation of one of our speakers, we will be happy to ask them for their permission, and we will be sending you the presentation after we take the permission from the speaker. And again, we are sharing the recording of this webinar with different of the audience that is sending us to share this after we finish. Thank you, Moustapha. And finally, last but not least, my long life friend and partner, and the voice that has been going for the empowerment of women for such a long time, for 20 years now with me, Ms. Reham Adel, whom I'm very proud of the journey she's been having. She's the best voice to host for the labor market in Egypt, which is again a sector that we've been asked to voice from Egypt. Ms. Reham, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, dear Nagla. You're an inspiring
the perfect voice for women empowerment in Egypt. And honestly, it's a great pride to see her journey within different public service volunteering work that we've done together across different associations. Now she's the head of the Human Resources Committee at the Federation of the Egyptian Chambers of Commerce. She's doing great work. And of course, she's the chairman of Job Nile, who's been there in the market for 20-something years. Yeah. And based on the Cypriot side requirement, we are so willing to hear your presentation. Please start.
Thank you very much, Nagla, and really congratulations on building such bridges between countries. You're doing an amazing job in this area, and I'm really happy to join you today. So I would like to tell everyone good morning, distinguished business leaders from Cyprus and Egypt, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. And thanks to all speakers for such very informative presentations. And before I begin, I would like you to allow me to briefly introduce my background so you know the perspective I'm speaking from. I have more than 20 years experience as a founder and leader of the employment and HR solutions firm Job Nile in Egypt and top experts in the UK and USA. We are serving companies and professional calibers internationally across multiple sectors. In addition, I share, as Nagla said, the HR consultancy committee at the Federation of the Egyptian Chamber of Commerce, as well as in Alexandria Chamber of Commerce. Accordingly, I have been always working closely with employers and international partners on workforce mobility, skills development, as well as ethical employment frameworks. So what I am sharing with you today is not theory, it comes from real business practice. I will also be very practical and very direct. My message today is simple. Egyptian talent can help Cyprus grow faster, cover increasing demand, causing skills shortages, and remain competitive while Egypt gains jobs and stronger economic ties. This is true a win-win partnership. As Mr. Lazaros just explained, Cyprus today is growing, especially in the technology, in professional services, tourism, construction, shipping, and financial services. However, despite that Cyprus has qualified talent pools, the demand is growing bigger, and accordingly, some Cypriot companies are facing the challenge of finding enough skilled people, while hiring within Europe, as we know, is expensive. At the same time, Egypt offers something very relevant to Cyprus' needs. Egypt has a large and young workforce with 33.75 million people in its labor force, and over 676,000 higher education graduates joining the workforce annually, while 37% of those have STEM degrees, with a strong and growing focus on education in IT and engineering. So when Cyprus needs skills and Egypt has the largest young and multilingual talent pool in the MENA region, it is not a coincidence, it is an opportunity. The economic foundation between our two countries is already strong. In 2024, trade between Egypt and Cyprus reached around $327 million, almost double the previous year. This growth tells us that trust already exists between our markets. The next natural step is to move beyond goods and focus more on services, people, and skills. In parallel, Egypt's technology and outsourcing sector has become a major engine of our economy, contributing close to 6% of GDP, with a national target to reach $9 billion in outsourcing exports by 2026. This means Egypt already has a large number of qualified people as software developers, cybersecurity specialists, engineers, shared service professionals, and project managers who are trained, experienced, and ready to work with international businesses. From a Cypriot business perspective, employing Egyptian professionals brings very clear advantages. First, as mentioned, Egypt produces hundreds of thousands of university graduates every year, especially in IT and engineering and accounting, technical fields, so any skills shortages can be filled faster. Second, an experienced Egyptian professional can be often hired at 30 to 50% lower cost than similar profiles in many European markets, while maintaining high quality and productivity. This matters greatly for SMEs, startups, and growing companies. Third, Egyptian professionals generally have strong English skills, are familiar with European business cultures, and adapt quickly to international work environments. Fourth, Egyptian talent can support Cypriot companies through on-site employment, hybrid arrangements, or remote work models. This allows Cypriot firms to scale operations, serve regional and global markets, and remain agile. For Cyprus as an economy, this approach helps in several ways. It reduces skills shortages, supports business expansion, strengthens competitiveness, and makes Cyprus more attractive to foreign investors. Investors always ask one key question: can I find the right people here? When the answer is yes, investment follows. From my experience in HR consulting and workforce mobility, the best approach is always practical and gradual. I would suggest to start with pilot programs, for example, placing 50 or 100 Egyptian professionals in trusted Cypriot companies focusing on IT, digital services, engineering, hospitality, and construction. These pilots allow both sides to test systems, permits, contracts, and integration in a safe and controlled way. Clear and fast processes are essential. Transparent work permits, recognized qualifications, proper contracts, and full social protection. The Chambers of Commerce can supervise and or support in connecting reliable employers with verified talent, promoting ethical recruitment, and protecting the interests of business and workers alike. Once these pilots succeed, the model can scale naturally to larger numbers and additional sectors. This partnership also brings benefits back to Egypt. It creates quality jobs, enable skills transfer, supports stable remittance flows, and strengthen institutional cooperation. For Cyprus, it means access to a reliable and competitive talent pool and a trusted regional partner. This is not about labor migration. This is about economic partnership, productivity, and shared growth. Ladies and gentlemen, together we can build a modern, well-regulated skills corridor that serves business models and needs, protects people, and strengthens both economies. The roadmap from Egypt to Cyprus is realistic, achievable, and ready to begin. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to working closely with your chamber and with all the people attending from the business community in Cyprus and your companies to turn this opportunity into a real business success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Reham. This was very informative and very encouraging for the collaboration between both countries. A great and important sector indeed, one of the most important, I believe, in Egypt right now. So thank you very much. Being on time is a miracle. So we are being on time and it's a true miracle. Thank you for everyone who has believed in us today. Thank you for the speakers who have all supported us today. I have just a final note before I leave the floor for the final remarks from my partner, Roberta. First of all, this collaboration can very much happen like Moustapha, Dr. Ale, and now Reham is telling us, because of the joint Mediterranean culture. As a marketing consultant for 25 years, I believe culture can facilitate everything. It means that different business people from the same background or share the same culture can easily facilitate business. So I believe, yes, we have a very good chance in doing business easily. Like Dr. Ala also has mentioned, and I believe Mr. George from the Embassy of Cyprus here in Egypt has mentioned, that the Egyptian and the Cypriot business collaboration is not just the import and export or sales, direct sales opportunity. We have many other opportunities that I have seen through my other blue ocean markets that I work with. It's the R&D opportunity. Visiting Egypt or visiting Cyprus can just expand the horizon of the way you do business and your mentality in developing your products. Franchise agreements is a great success and a big opportunity. Also having mergers and acquisitions, we've seen investors that has come and bought some equity in factories or other facilities that can facilitate their business. So actually, this collaboration is a big opportunity for both sides of the Mediterranean. Thank you, UFM, again. For supporting this initiative from the beginning, I believe. And we, from here also, we extend our invitation. I'm talking about this union of consultants to other consultants who wants to collaborate with us to making this happen, because we at New Benefit believe that we need architects to facilitate the international business extension and to make companies comfortable in entering new markets. So if you are a consultant, and I think We have a few today. We would like to extend an invitation to you to collaborate if you think you can add to this initiative. Finally, I leave the floor to Roberta with a nice call to action. If you are asking us what is the next step, we're planning different things. We are planning a business mission back and forth from Cyprus. And our business missions, when we organize it, it's a bit different because we take case by case for each delegate, preparing them for what to expect in the market they are entering. So it takes us a lot of work and time to prepare for each delegate for the market they are entering. We are also ready, if you have any question about the Egyptian or the Cypriot market, to address this consortium, and we will make sure we communicate your question or your request to the relevant consultant or presenter from here today. So we have a lot to do. Stay tuned. We're going to keep emailing you and keep following up with you. And like I said in the beginning, have a fruitful journey across the Mediterranean, doing trade and business, and keep growing. Thank you. Roberta?
Thank you, Nagla. Thank you also for being the spokesperson for our strategic partnership, because you covered already everything also in the closing, and thank you for that in a very effective way. I want to again say thank you to all the speakers that are also our partners, of course, that make possible to have such a comprehensive and interesting presentation that is just the first step, the startup of a, as someone said, a medium-long term process where we are keen to contribute to develop the potential between Egypt and Cyprus, also as gateways to other broader markets. And we are from Cyprus looking forward to welcoming the Egyptian companies quite soon in Cyprus for starting concretely, focusing on the sectors that we dealt with today, but also on the base of what will be emerging in our meetings, through which we will be preparing, Nagla, the visit to Cyprus. So thank you again to all the speakers, to all the participants, still all of them online after 1 hour and a half, and yeah, looking forward to the concrete next step. Thank you all.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you all.